Okay, so yellow ochre, raw umber, and cadmium red light. Just a bit of cadmium red light. So the color of the wicker looks more on the warm side, orangey kind of, and the raw umber to make it darker. I'm using a round brush, and I'm just going in. There are like 4 triangles. I'm going into those 4 triangles and just filling them for now with the color. And then I will put the detail later on. I'm going to do the next one over. I'm just going to increase the amount of brown in here a little bit, just a little bit more raw umber. Okay. Okay, so now we'll go back. I'm just going to put a bit of a line in here in raw umber, just for me to see where the pattern of this wicker, and just darken this part here. Okay, now let's take some titanium buff.
Why did you make one chair darker than the other?
It's just this one here is more in the shade. This one, there's a shade on it, stronger shade. Is that what you're asking, why this one is darker, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just because in the reference, I can see that this one here has more light on it and that one less light. Now there is a, there's a little bit of a shadow of this table. We don't have this table, so we're going to ignore that shadow in here. So I'm just adding titanium buff. Now I have to use a smaller chair, small chair, smaller round brush. Okay. So I'm just going to follow the pattern of that kind of, just like that. This one a bit less, just put less titanium buff on this side and more yellow ochre.
So you're only using yellow ochre and titanium buff for the highlight?
That's what I've been using. I'm using yellow ochre and titanium buff in my highlights. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm using. I'm not using anything, you know, I'm not putting any other colors. I don't think there's a need for that, to put any other colors. That's fine. Just these two colors are fine for highlights. Let's turn it in a bit, just kind of, yeah, like that. Okay, so maybe here, just yellow ochre in here. It looks like there's a bit of a highlight in, oh, yeah, that if you highlight just a little bit, you can see it here. This part here. It looks like this part is highlighted a little bit more. We don't have to put it in. Just the edge. Hmm. I kind of like this part to be darker right here because it makes the seat goes in. Okay. Just darkening inside the seat right there. Shall I pause a bit or continue?
Pause. Good idea.
All right. All right. So let's take yellow ochre and give this part a bit of texture. I know it's dark, but we can, it's dark in the picture, in the reference, but we can give it a bit of, just a bit of texture. We'll keep it dark. That's why I'm using only yellow ochre. I'm not going to use anything else for now. So my color is not, it's more like a glazy. Let's take some of this out. Just yellow ochre. So I am curving my lines. So when I put my line, I'm curving it a bit in like that. Now, I'm going to do the same here. Right, a bit of same, but down. Right, now I'm going to do the same, same here. Just kind of a bit. Okay, now I'm going to take titanium buff and yellow ochre. And I'm going to give, just make sure I'm putting the color in the right place. Okay. Now I'm going to increase the amount of titanium buff in my yellow ochre and make my color kind of glazy. And now I'm going to come here. This is just yellow ochre and titanium buff. But it's more like a glaze. It's not a heavy, thick paint. I use the leftover red and raw umber. Mix them. Let's put a bit of titanium buff in there. Touch. I'm going to put some more like a terracotta color, and I'll stop after this.
And what color did you use?
Just the leftover cadmium red light I have here and raw umber, and just a tiny bit of titanium buff. I'm going to darken the one in the back with more of the with more raw umber. Right, so for the greens, I have sap green, and this is sap green right here. And then I have, I'm using the red I had before, cadmium red light, mixing it with sap green, which gives me a olive green, right? So it's like an olivey green. And then I'm taking the yellow ochre, put it in, and that's perfect. But the first layer I did was only sap green and red. And now I'm going to add yellow ochre in there, and that will give me a really kind of a very much of an olive green. And then I'm going to see if I can highlight with this. I think it needs more yellow ochre in here. And then just kind of get a better brush. Let's get some dark green, a bit of dark green here on my round brush. And I like the way they look in the reference.
We can't see, your hand is
Oh,
in the
sorry.
way.
Thank you. Thanks for telling me. I'm going to take some of this highlighted or, olive green here with the yellow ochre. Same in the ones in the back. The ones in the back are in a shadowy area, like a dark area. So I'm just gonna add a touch of same highlight with darks, yellow ochre. That's my highlight, just to give them some movement. There's a beautiful red in there. So I'm using cadmium red light. Same thing I have here, but the one I have here is a bit not clean. So I'm using cadmium red light and I'm putting, for my first layer, green in it. I have some green. So to tone it down.
You're putting green or red?
No, I put green in it. I put green in my red to tone it down for first layer. So I got some cadmium red light and I put some green in it. I'm going to do the same first layer because red is very strong if you just put it just the way it is by itself. And I'm just going to take this, put it some here. I have a bit of cadmium yellow light. I'll put it in some green, any green you have in here, any kind of mixture of green you have. And I'm going to highlight this a bit more. Just the front one. By highlighting the one in the front with warm colors, it will push the ones in the back further in. I'll highlight this a bit. And now, just cadmium red light. This is kind of drying darker. So I'm just going to take a bit of light green, which has cadmium red light, cadmium yellow light and green. And then I'm going to put it in the mixture of the original green that I had, the olive green. So I'm just making my olive green a bit lighter. Oh, it's not, I can hardly see it. All right, there. Now, moving on back now, go back now to highlighting these two pots. So those two pots are terracotta pots. So the color actually, when you highlight something like this, it's this kind of pots does not, they kind of absorb the color, the light. So I'm going to take, I can do the same. I can take just red and raw umber, but I'm going to take a bit of, for now, for this part, I'm going to try, okay? I don't know. I'm not sure how it's going to look, but I'm going to try. Okay, it's not bad. It is burnt sienna, and I'm adding titanium buff to my burnt sienna. And I'm going to try to put a, highlight this part. I think I can add a bit more titanium buff to my burnt sienna. Ah, that's better. You know what? Yeah, that looks good. Now, if you want to do a wash of white over the wall, we can still do that. Probably, here, let me see if I can. So if I want to glaze the walls and make the shadows softer, I'm using white and ultramarine violet with lots of water, or a glazing medium. If you have a glazing medium, that will work too. And what I do is I take my color, wipe my brush, and then put a layer. I wouldn't put that behind the chairs. I would keep behind the chairs lighter, darker, I mean.
Are you doing all the wall, the glaze, or just the dark parts of the wall?
Just the part where it's too dark, where the shadow is too dark. Not everywhere. I mean, I'm doing, you could do this. Look, you could do this. You could do it that
So
way.
it's white, ultramarine, violet, and water.
Yeah, or glazing medium.
Are you gonna do the mirror
Yeah, we can do that after.
after?
Just
Okay.
softening. Yeah, we're just softening the shadow area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So it's softer now,
Yeah, it is softer.
way
Yeah.
softer than before. But I kept behind the chairs, I kept it dark, just the way it is. I'm not going to change it behind the chairs. So once we put the sign next time and we'll do the sign and the floors and it'll be done. Clean up the mess a bit.
Gonna say goodnight, everyone.
Right. Good night.
Good
Have a
night,
good
my
Can't zoom out more than that for now.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. Like it's gonna look even nicer when it's done. Okay, good. All right. Okay.
Did I tell you that I ran into Jane